There are 7 rappers I've found who each meet the criteria for one of the 7 deadly sins: pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth. I'll start with what is considered to be the original and worst of the 7 deadly sins: pride. Pride is defined as believing that one is essentially better than others, failing to acknowledge the accomplishments of others, and excessive admiration of the personal self. The rapper who best matches this description of pride is Drake. Drake is no doubt one of, if not the, most accomplished rapper of all time, but the thing is, he doesn't shy away from boasting about his accomplishments. A lot of his song lyrics show this off, constantly putting himself on a pedestal. Another example of Drake's pride is him hiding the fact that he had a child with an ex-adult film star, likely due to how it would make him look to the public. In May 2017, TMZ reported that ex-adult film star Sophie Brousseau claimed she was pregnant with Drake's baby, and that they weren't on good terms. She claimed to have messages with Drake supporting the claim that he got her pregnant, and in those alleged messages, Drake asked for an abortion and claimed that she only wanted the child so she could get his money. Drake's team discredited Sophie's claims, suggesting that she was using the situation as a way of getting into the United States. It wasn't until Pusha T's May 2018 diss track on Drake that his hidden son would finally be revealed to the world, against his own free will. Drake has also shown the world that he is not receptive to criticism, which is another sign of his pride. In September 2022, Drake privately sent harsh messages to YouTuber Anthony Fantano, seemingly due to the low ratings he had been giving his recent albums. Fantano made light of the situation by not sharing the messages publicly, but by telling people that Drake kindly DM'd him a vegan cookie recipe. Even though this was an unbelievable story, Drake decided to take matters into his own hands and post the actual bitter messages that he sent to his own Instagram story. He used Fantano's own 10-point rating scale to call his existence a light 1, all because he couldn't handle the criticism of Fantano's album reviews. Another person's criticism Drake couldn't handle is Joe Budden's. Joe criticized Drake after the release of his album For All the Dogs, stating that he was rapping for the children and needed to mature his music to match his age. Drake took his message to heart and responded with an onslaught of personal jabs, in short summary, calling Joe Budden a frustrated failure and quitter who will not be remembered and whose opinion should not be listened to. He ended the message by flexing his private jet and using it to diminish what Joe Budden has achieved. Drake may be a bit full of himself, but at least he's been consistent, releasing music frequently for years upon years. The same cannot be said for the rapper I chose to represent the sin of sloth. Sloth is the most difficult sin to define and credit as a sin since it refers to an assortment of ideas, but the most common definition given to sloth is reluctance to work or make an effort, also known as laziness. A rapper who's known for fitting this description is Playboi Carti. Carti began his music career in 2011 and started attracting attention in 2015 with his singles Broke Boy and Fetty. Since then, Carti has dropped a whopping 3 projects in an 8-year time frame. Sure, there are other rappers who take long breaks in between projects, but they usually meet at least one of these 2 justifications. 1, being older in their late 30s or 40s, or 2, still consistently dropping singles and features while they work on their own project. Carti cannot use either of these excuses. Since 2017, Carti has released 1 single that wasn't for an album. Before his 2 big 2023 features with Travis Scott and The Weeknd, Carti had 0 features done for all of 2022, and only 7 total from the 2 years before that. It's not only his music releases where Carti is sparse, as he also rarely posts anything online to social media. Despite his lack of consistency, Carti has only grown more and more successful over the years, to the point now where he's one of the biggest names in rap. The next rapper I chose cannot relate to this, but wants to be just like Carti, and that's why his sin is envy. To envy is to desire to have a quality, possession, or other desirable attribute belonging to someone else. An extreme example of envy is actually wanting to be someone else. Mario Judah is a rapper who took envy to this extreme, basically becoming a clone of Playboi Carti. Before Mario was even an artist, he was a big fan of Carti.
I was doing this before I was an artist. Like, I was one of the fans in his comment section, like, bro, please drop Whole Lotta Red. Like, bro's fire. Like, he's a rock star too, you know what I'm saying?
In 2020, he, like many others, were growing impatient with Carti for not dropping his album titled Whole Lotta Red. Mario decided to take matters into his own hands and threatened to release Whole Lotta Red for Carti if he didn't drop it before December 6th, 2020. Once that day came around and Carti hadn't dropped, Mario Judah released a single titled Bi Ya, where he did his best Carti impersonation, mimicking his typical baby voice cadence and flows.
I so addicted to drugs, I so addicted to drugs, I so addicted to drugs.
After the release of this song, Mario Judah announced that it was only track 2 of his own entire Whole Lotta Red project that was on the way. On December 8th, 2020, Mario Judah once again threatened Carti, this time saying that he would drop his own version of Whole Lotta Red if Carti didn't drop his album by December 11th.
I'm gonna do what I can to try and get him to drop. If I try to alert him and threaten him with a song, maybe he'll hurry up and drop. Apparently it's not working, he's not dropping, and all the fans are upset. And now they're expecting me to keep going. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, it's like, if he not gonna drop, I'm gonna take the responsibility and give the world a Whole Lotta Red.
Carti, of course, did not oblige, and Mario Judah proceeded to drop an EP titled Whole Lotta Red shortly after midnight on December 12th, 2020. The 3 new songs on the EP were just like the previous song he'd released, showing him copying everything about Playboi Carti's sound. The worst part is that after Carti finally released his album Whole Lotta Red on Christmas 2020, Mario Judah responded with hatred, as if the version he had dropped was better than Carti's.
Carti, I ain't do all this shit just for you to give us trash, bro. You're not worthy of me, bro.
The Carti imitation songs Mario Judah made were extremely successful, all being his most viewed tracks, but it ruined his reputation as an artist, trying to capitalize off of someone else's style. It did greatly boost his following and notoriety, so I think it's safe to say he overall gained from this situation. Someone else who gained from a situation is the rapper I selected to represent the sin Gluttony. Gluttony is the overindulgence and overconsumption of anything to the point of waste. The rapper Lucky unfortunately meets the criteria for gluttony.
We get out, we get fat.
Lucky is a rapper from Chicago who began his music career in late 2012. Looking at pictures of him early on in his career, you can see that he had a skinny body build. Look at pictures of him now, and it's quite the opposite. But what was it that caused Lucky's continual gain of weight? Well, it actually all started after he stopped doing the drug Xanax. Lucky was a frequent user of Xanax to the point where he took 10 pills in a single day. But in 2016, he chilled on the Xans and found another drug that would change his life forever. It was around this time when Lucky first began drinking lean. Lean is a recreational drug beverage prepared by mixing prescription-strength cough syrup containing codeine and promethazine with a soft drink. Drinking it in prescribed quantities is safe, but one of the potential side effects of overconsumption is weight gain due to not only the extremely high amounts of sugar in the sodas, but also the cough syrup that causes constipation and inflation of your liver and intestines. The bloating that lean causes is referred to as a lean gut, which is similar to that of a beer belly. Lucky first started showing signs of his lean gut in 2019, and it's only gotten worse and worse every year since. Lucky said he wished the weight gain on himself for wanting to gain weight back when he was skinny.
You're like one of the first or only niggas who embrace gaining weight.
It's really like a little karma thing, not karma, but I wish this on myself because I used to want to be like Sosa and Gucci Man, and I was skinny as hell trying to get a little pudge. Then I got it, but I stopped caring about having it. You feel me? I wish this on myself.
Didn't stop growing.
Now his lean addiction is so bad that he doesn't even like thinking about how much it's cost him.
How much you think you spent on it?
I don't like thinking about that.
Yeah.
What's the most you paid for a pint?
I won't say if you hide it.
The root of his addiction actually stemmed from his listening of Lil Wayne, a rapper who frequently glorifies lean in his music.
I always wanted to drink lean though, cause of Lil Wayne though. I was a real impressionable kid, you know. I was like super impressionable, so I always wanted to drink lean. Then when I started getting older, it just fit.
Now Lucky himself is the one frequently glorifying lean in his music, potentially negatively influencing other listeners. Another person negatively influencing their listeners is the rapper I have representing the sin of lust. Lust is defined as intense or unrestrained sexual craving. I couldn't think of a better fit for this description than the rapper Sexy Red. Sexy Red is a recent success story in the rap scene, blowing up from her rather unholy lyrics.
My coochie pink, my booty hole brown.
Wikipedia's description of Sexy Red says, her public image, lyrics, and media presence have been described as brazenly sexual and boisterous. She herself describes her music as bad and ratchet. Her stage name, Sexy Red, was adapted from her nickname Red because of her red-dyed hair, and then her aim for sex appeal since embarking on a music career. Listening to her songs makes this clear, as just about every single one is full of lyrics about or completely based around the theme of sex. The same can be said for her music videos and live performances as well, which basically center around her showing her body off and shaking her rear end. Her lustful activities expand beyond the public eye, as she's had multiple intimate videos of herself with men leak online. Sexy Red's reputation is not the best, as many call her a bad influence, but what she's doing is causing her career to take off and making her a lot of money in the process. Someone who knows a lot about money is the rapper I selected for the sin of greed. Greed is the excessive desire for material possessions and wealth. I decided to go with Travis Scott for this sin because he's infamous for taking countless high-paying endorsement deals. In 2011, before Travis had any buzz in the rap scene, he made one of his earliest greedy decisions. He dropped out of college without telling his parents, but his parents were sending him money to help with his college expenses. They were sending him money for food, rent, and school necessities every 2 weeks. Travis used this money on flights, studio sessions, gas, clothes, and anything to continue his rapper lifestyle. It wasn't until his family came to visit him at his college that he would get caught, as they saw that he wasn't there anymore. After his parents found out that he'd been using the money they were giving him for non-school related purposes, they stopped talking to each other for a while.
Yeah, how'd that conversation go? Like, once she found out that you were taking her money and spending it on all this other stuff.
Man, she was just like, what the yo, you crazy wasting my money, it's crazy, just like going ballistic, man. Like, she didn't talk to me for like a good 3 months.
Travis actually justified his actions, saying that it led him to the success that he has now.
To me, I felt like it was right, just cause like, I knew what I was doing with the money. It wasn't like I was going out buying drugs. I was going out like, you know, harming myself and going out spending it on like stupid stuff. I was spending it on like things that was gonna get me to like the level of just where I'm at now.
One day in 2012, after returning from work on Kanye West's Cruel Summer album, Travis forgot everything in his hotel, including his luggage and his MacBook. Instead of going out and purchasing a new computer, he decided to leech off his friend Tony and use his constantly until he proclaimed it as his own. One day in mid-2013, Tony went to grab his MacBook and Travis didn't allow him. He snagged the computer out of Tony's hands and a fight almost broke out. Travis then left with the MacBook in his hands and Tony flew home to Houston. He says that they haven't talked since. In June of 2013, Travis signed his first ever endorsement deal with Reebok, and since then has collaborated with Nike, Dior, McDonald's, Fortnite, Netflix, A24, Anheuser-Busch, Reese's Puffs, PlayStation, NBA 2K, Hot Wheels, Connected Cannabis, Bin Shrill, Byretto, and Helmut Lang. In 2019, Travis performed for the Super Bowl 53 halftime show, even though several other musicians turned down offers due to their support for Colin Kaepernick after his national anthem protests against police brutality. Travis was criticized for accepting the invitation, but the exposure he gained caused his performance fee to double from $500,000 to $1 million after the event took place. Travis's continual pursuit of wealth is why he's currently worth an estimated $90 million, which is about 90 million more than the rapper I have representing the sin, Wrath. Wrath, also known as rage, is described as inordinate and uncontrolled feelings of hatred and anger. No rapper fits this description better than Space Ghost Perp. Space Ghost Perp is a rapper who's notorious for his controversial public persona and the many different beefs he's been a part of. Early on in his rap career, in 2008, Perp formed a hip-hop collective called Raider Clan. The collective had a rotating door of members as so many rappers came and left over arguments with Perp about creative control and personal issues. As Perp rose to prominence, his conflicts grew and got well documented, the most famous being a dragged-out rivalry with A$AP Rocky. In late 2011, A$AP Yams discovered Space Ghost Perp and his music through Tumblr. Perp began producing for A$AP Rocky, who was a big fan of his music. Perp and A$AP Mob were on good terms until a string of arguments led to Twitter feuds and physical altercations. In November 2012, Space Ghost Perp and affiliates of Raider Clan attacked members of A$AP Mob mob outside Miami. This led to ASAP Nast calling the police and Space Ghost Perp getting arrested. In March 2013, Space Ghost Perp and affiliates again attacked ASAP Mob in their home city of New York. The feud began to die down after this in terms of aggression and returned to social media beef. In January 2016, Perp made a series of disrespectful tweets about ASAP Yams, who died from a drug overdose in 2015. This caused a whole new beef with his former Raider Clan member Denzel Curry, along with rapper XXXTentacion. Their beef was basically a string of heated diss tracks that eventually led to X getting a Perp tattoo on his wrist. Over the years, as Perp has fallen from fame, he's often channeled his anger on Twitter, where he's frequently gotten suspended for homophobic, racist, and misogynistic tweets. Perp has claimed he should be taken at his word, stating the complex, "If I'm mad on Twitter, bitch, I'm mad for real. Mad is mad, it ain't cyber mad. When I'm mad, on Twitter, off Twitter." Perp was arrested multiple other times, like for assault with a deadly weapon and for assault of a woman in North Carolina. The karma for all his wrath seems to have caught up with him, as he reportedly went broke and was even homeless. But I don't think you can say that he didn't deserve it.
Some got my name on his stomach, and I don't know, it was weird. He mailed me his laptop. He wanted me to mix his album or whatever. I don't know. He wanted me to sign his laptop or something like that. This is his laptop right here. So we just gonna do this, all right? And this is what we gonna do. All right, you fit? I'm breaking this shit too because your music is so trash. What you thought I was gonna mail it back to you? That's what you thought? Well, guess what? You're not getting it back.